Good morning and welcome, citizens of Douglas County. The May 5th, 2026 Commission meeting of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners will come to order. County Clerk, please take the roll for the record.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Henry Mitchell II, District 1, third. I'm making you younger, Commissioner. District 1. Commissioner Whitney Kenner Jones, District 2.
Present.
Commissioner Martin Raxton, District 3.
Present.
Commissioner Vice Chair Mark Alcaraz, District 4.
Present.
Chairman Ramona Jackson Jones.
Present. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Board of Commissioners and citizens of Douglas County, we are pleased to have with us this morning Camilla Terrell from our Board of Equalization Department with us to lead us in our invocation. Please stand for the invocation, and after the invocation, please join me and our Board of Commissioners for the pledge to the flag. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Let's go before the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you today with gratitude and reverence, honoring your presence over Douglas County. Your word declares in Psalms 133, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." So today, we ask, unify this county. Unite our leaders, our community, and every household with wisdom, compassion, and purpose. Lord, grant clarity to those who govern integrity in every decision and justice that flows like a river, as declared in Amos 5:24. Let every policy, every plan, and every partnership reflect fairness, equity, and truth. Strengthen the bridges between government and community. Lord, let there be trust where there has been tension, healing where there has been hurt, and collaboration where there has been division. We speak peace over our neighborhoods, protection over our families, and prosperity over our land, according to 2 Chronicles 7:14. As we humble ourselves and seek your face, you will heal the land. So we call Douglas County healed, restored, and thriving. And I'll say that again. We call Douglas County healed, restored, and thriving. And one for the Holy Spirit. We call Douglas County healed, restored, and thriving. Now, Father, cover this meeting, guide every voice, and let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It is in your sovereign name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Camilla Terrell, for bringing such a wonderful prayer over our county this morning. Next, County Clerk, did we have anyone sign up for public comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Before you come up, I will just remind you that you'll have 3 minutes to speak. When you approach the podium, please repeat your name and address for the record. Our first one is Sandra Washington.
Not that tall. Good morning, Commission. Nice to see you again. My name is Sandra Washington, and I reside at 2935 Flowers Drive. Once again, I've sat here in this Citizens Hall and listened to the same appeals by Old Courthouse, Inc. Yesterday was a new twist. We are mostly an all-new board. We will do better. Frankly, I don't believe them, and neither should you. They want that chance to do better, and I think it's a sincere idea, but their idea of doing better is to continue to give them more time, 2 more years of free rent, free utilities, free maintenance, that is free for them, but not for the taxpayer. They want the taxpayers of this county to continue to be responsible for their private business because they need time. 27 years is evidently not enough. What other nonprofit does the government support like this? They keep talking about the value of having a museum in this county, and that is an undisputed truth. We need a museum. There's no doubt about that. But the museum, or their supporters, are the only ones saying, you want to close us down. No, we want you to move. That's it. A museum is a valuable resource with the potential to transform a town, like the Booth and Tellus museums did in Cartersville. The DC Museum, however, is older than both of those, and it has yet to be transformative. Oh, the potential is there, but as long as the expectation is that the public will bear the financial burden and the BOC will bear the blame for any failure, whether the lease is renewed or not, all the responsibility is on someone else. The old museum board made all the mistakes. The DCTT took away our money. You weren't born here. You can't tell us how to run our museum. You didn't give us enough time. But the truth is the success or failure of the museum is on Old Courthouse, Inc., regardless of who's on the board. They've had 90 days. No, that's not right. They've had over 180 days since the lease was terminated by this board in October. They've had time to plan, to find a new home, to find temporary storage, to pack, to seek funding, angel donors, and now they're down to 10 days. And that's a deliberate choice by this museum board. They're not investing in an effort to save their museum. They're willing to walk away from it and allow someone else to clean up the mess and cry those crocodile tears about lost heritage. Let them. This is a 27-year-old business with a board that needs to stand on its own. It needs to be responsible for the history they display and the history and the action of the board they replaced with all its mistakes. They took on this burden. They need to clean it up and not expect the taxpayer to do so. They need consequences. They need to change. Succeed or fail, that's on them. And I thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Washington.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, do we have anyone else?
Yes, ma'am. Our next is Susan Bowie.
Good morning. Susan Bowie, 2935 Flowers Drive here in Douglasville.
Good morning, Ms.
Board.
Bowie.
Thank you again for letting me come back and speak. I'm here again to express my serious concerns regarding the upcoming vote on the lease for the nonprofit organization that has consistently demonstrated noncompliance with tax regulations and a troubling history of misrepresentation. As you approach this decision, I urge you to reflect on the potential legal liabilities and implications to our community, as well as the ethical considerations of your actions. First, I pose simple questions to the commissioners. Why are you willing to vote on an MOU that you've never seen, a lease that hasn't been drafted? Do you feel no obligation to all the members of our community, or only to the 20-some individuals who are heavily invested in this endeavor? This is a critical moment for governance, and it appears that the lessons from past indictments have not been heeded. Was that experience simply practice for the next controversy? Do you need their votes that badly? Moreover, the community as a whole does not support this project. The fact that the organization was unable to meet their own GoFundMe goal in over 5 months is a clear indication that a lack of commitment and support. They couldn't even do that when they needed to. They couldn't meet their own goals. This failure should signal to each commissioner that this is a failed experiment. It is time to move on and invest in alternatives that have genuine community backing. Granting a lease to a non-compliant organization not only undermines your fiduciary duty, but it could also expose us to liability. If harm arises from the organization's activities or mismanagement of leased property, you may face negligence claims for failing to conduct proper due diligence. Your responsibility is to protect the interest of all the constituents, not just a select few. Additionally, you must consider the implications of statutory compliance. By moving forward without a clear understanding of the lease agreement, you risk breaching laws governing public property leases, resulting in further legal challenges that could tarnish your reputation and reflect poorly on your governance. Leasing to an organization with a record of noncompliance also carries financial risks. The potential for lost tax revenue and legal costs associated with defending such decisions constrain our budget and resource allocations. It's imperative that you prioritize accountability and transparency in your governance practices. The state is watching. In conclusion, I urge this board to reconsider the decision to support this lease. The concerns raised here, along with the community's evident lack of enthusiasm for the project, underscores the need for careful and critical examination of the implications. It is your duty to ensure that public resources are utilized effectively and ethically. Please choose to uphold your commitment to the community by rejecting this lease proposal. And I thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bowie, for coming in, sharing your concerns. You,
Our
anyone else?
Our next is Jeremy Germain.
Good day, Commissioners. If I can approach y'all about something first before my time starts, it's a liability issue. I came into this courthouse yesterday with a sealed bottle of water, and I was told I couldn't bring it in. I have a medical condition, and I was forced to tell what that medical condition is. That's a violation of the ADA compliance, and you can be sued for that. So you all have little bottles of water, push that out there for everybody. We pay for those waters, okay? So I should be able to bring my water in, or no, my time didn't start, restart that. That's just based on that. So we're gonna restart. I'll wait. Madam Commissioner, please allow her to restart that clock.
Chairman, can we restart his time?
Yeah,
Thank you.
because it was not germane to the agenda, what he was discussing.
Thank you, I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Okay, I appreciate it too.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners and neighbors. My name is Jericho Germain, and I am a taxpaying citizen of this county. I do not pay $200,000 in property tax, but I pay my fair share. Operative word there is fair. Due to the parking situation yesterday, many voices were silenced, including mine, and I refuse to be silenced today. I want to be clear, the speech I came to give yesterday was not this. It was much more temperate. But when I got up here and saw the parade of black people this organization, the 501(c), put on the screen and shucked around, acting as if the community is getting something out of the deal, it changed everything. They made it a black thing, while saying over and over it's not about race. But let's get to it. Have they ever actually helped any black businesses as a 501(c)? Have they ever helped your failed businesses? When I mentioned working with the High Noon Brunchery to create a customer buy-in from there to the museum, they turned up their noses. Honor thy neighbor. I know plenty of other 501(c)s in this county helping people every single day. When is the last time this museum, this 501(c), has actually helped someone? Tell me when they have helped someone. 27 years. Douglas County needs a museum, but absolutely not, do not need that 501(c) currently running it. I am tired of being smacked in the face by people who pretend to be inclusive. Now, all of a sudden, they want to expand their Native American section. We asked for bylaws for weeks, getting them only at the January meeting. You still are waiting for things from them. Joe Hamilton, who is the CFO, proudly saying he's the CFO, their financial records are still in disarray. You have people threatening to take their piano, and if we don't keep them there, but I say let the piano go.
Mr. Jeremy, no personal attacks.
Where's the personal one?
You said, Mr. Hamilton.
Is my time still going?
No, keep
Can
going.
I reclaim my
Yeah.
time?
No, keep going.
Reclaim my
You're
time.
reclaiming, just don't, no personal attacks.
There's nothing personal that was said yesterday on the record.
Okay.
Myself and Amy McCoy put together an actually inclusive plan, and they disregarded it. While I was there helping the museum, we brought in a financial literacy coach who could have helped the community, specifically the black community. That is now gone. We brought in a genealogy expert. That is now gone too. Real resources were brought to this museum, and they simply refused to adapt. This smack in the face is not okay. Whose history are y'all defending? Why do you only have one black person on the museum board when this county is predominantly black? Their idea of modern representation was printing out internet photos of Kanye West and Lil Nas X. Meanwhile, no other exhibits ever changed. When I brought up reaching out to Tyler Perry, they wanted to highlight a dress from Medea, as if that's all he is. There's a current young black Douglas inventor who has created a way to take plastic and turn it into diesel fuel, who has over 7 million followers that I brought to that museum to put his invention in there. Nothing. This is an organization that literally said, over their dead body, would they allow the factual book, The Ghost of Douglas County, by author Tracy Rickershaw, to be allowed inside. But you say it's not about race. Oh, I still have more time? 15? Okay, let's see where I want to go. Well, I'll go here. I know how hard it is to build an arts institution. Last month, I spent $5,000 of my own money to renovate Von Toussaint Studios, my photography studio. I am not a product of nepotism. My mother had to work every single day of her life. She didn't have the luxury of creating art as a hobby. We had to create from the heart.
Thank you. Nope, no clapping. Okay, thank, no clapping, no clapping. Please. All right.
We have one more, and
Okay.
it's, I believe it's Brenda Christian.
Good morning. My name is Brenda Christian, 4723 Waverly Walk, Douglasville, Georgia. I moved here in the 1990s. To me, the building and the contents are one and the same. The building is on the National Historic Register, and I remember that it would have become a parking lot if it had not been saved by the citizens for the specific purpose of being the History Museum. Not many of us can say we know our history back to the beginning. And this is about history. So the museum is the history of the founding fathers moving forward. Present day stuff will become history, and that should be included. But so I recently saw a Villa Rica brochure at the Rome, Georgia Welcome Center, and it had a section on Douglasville. And what it listed was the Douglasville County Museum in Douglasville, and then it had Sweetwater Creek State Park, Lithia Springs. Those were the only two items that were listed. If you were to take the art out of the High Art Museum and move it elsewhere, would it still feel like the High Art Museum? When I first moved here, everything was downtown Douglasville. The old courthouse, the sheriff's department, the police department, the coroner's department, everything was right there. And the coroner's department was in the building that houses the museum now. Those have all been moved outwards, new buildings. They're not all right together again. But yesterday it was mentioned that 8 entities need to move out of this courthouse, and that you need the old courthouse building for space. And how is it going to house 8 entities? It seems like somewhere along the line we have to talk about a new building or a new space for government offices. And I don't, it just doesn't sound like 8 entities are going to be able to move into that. As far as the cultural aspect, I thought that's what the Cultural Arts Center was for. As far as my taxes, my understanding was the hotel motel tax was to be used to fund cultural arts and the museum. I live in Douglas County. I don't stay in a hotel or a motel. My guests don't stay in a hotel or motel. So therefore, I don't feel like I've paid any hotel motel taxes that fund these facilities that bring in visitors from outside. Now, if somebody wants to see a Penny McHenry hydrangea, they have to go to Atlanta, to the Botanical Garden, and see the hydrangeas there instead of the festival that we used to hold. I think this is still an ongoing topic because a lot of people weren't aware of this happening until after the vote had been taken. So I think it's good to have discussion. I think it's good to have change. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, we have anyone else?
No, ma'am, that was the last speaker.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to move right on to our next topic, which is the agenda adoption. Commissioners, are there any changes that need to be made to the agenda? Being none, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second. Please cast your electronic votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Board of Commissioners, let's just be mindful of our 3 minutes to make remarks and 2 minutes to make rebuttals. So I just ask that we stay within those guidelines. Approval of the minutes. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. You have the minutes of the special call combined work session and the commission meeting of April 14, 2026, and the executive session minutes of April 14, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Board of Commissioners, we have the financial report of, for the month of March 2026. Do we have a motion to accept the financial report?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second. All in, please prepare to cast your electronic votes if there's no discussion.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you so much. Clerk, would you please begin with our proclamations?
Yes, ma'am. We have 5 proclamations this morning, so we will have each one come up and read their proclamation, and then we'll do pictures after the last proclamation has been read. The first is proclaiming May as ALS Month in Douglas County. Sheila Watson.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
I will try to read this ALS proclamation. Whereas amyotrophic lateral scoliosis, ALS, commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive and fatal neurodegenerative disease that causes the brain to lose its ability to communicate with muscles, gradually impairing a person's ability to walk, talk, eat, and ultimately breathe. And whereas thousands of new ALS cases are diagnosed each year, and it is estimated that every 90 minutes someone is diagnosed with ALS and someone else passes away from this disease. And whereas the average life expectancy following an ALS diagnosis is 2 to 5 years, and whereas the causes of ALS remain unknown and there is currently no cure, and whereas military veterans are at a higher risk of developing and dying from ALS compared to those without a history of military service, and whereas access to new therapies, durable medical equipment, and communication technologies is critically important to individuals living with ALS, and whereas clinical trials play a vital role in advancing treatment options, improving quality of life, and supporting the development of assistive technologies for those affected. And whereas the ALS Association is the largest philanthropic funder of ALS research worldwide, having committed more than $154 million to support over 550 research projects across the United States and 18 countries, and whereas the ALS Association remains dedicated to making ALS livable while pursuing a cure for everyone, everywhere, and whereas ALS Awareness Month provides an opportunity to raise public awareness, recognize the profound impact of this disease on individuals and families, and support ongoing efforts to find a cure. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Douglas County Board of Commissioners hereby designates May 2026 as Amyotrophic Lateral Scoliosis ALS Awareness Month in Douglas County, and be it further proclaimed that the board encourages all residents to support ALS research, advocate for increased funding, and stand in solidarity with those affected by this devastating disease.
Thank you so much, Ms. Watson. Certainly, ALS is very important, and it's just thank you for bringing the awareness to the county, and also the need for us to develop additional research, because I heard you said there's no cure right now. And certainly that's something that we will, I'm hoping that the research centers will continue to do here in the United States to find out what we can do to resolve this horrible disease. With that being said, Board of Commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. Vice Chair, you have the floor.
Yeah, I just want to thank Miss Mindy. She's a constituent, lives in my district,
who has ALS, and she was unable to be here with us this morning. But I thank her for bringing this to my attention, and my heart goes out to her. Her email was very touching in regards to how it's affected her life. So I just want to say to all those who have ALS, continued prayers that we find a cure. So I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Madam Clerk, thank you so much, and we will take a photograph momentarily.
Okay. The next is proclaiming May 4th, 2026 as International Firefighters Day in Douglas County, Georgia. Chief Allen.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Board of Commissioners, Vice Chair, County Administration. Before I begin, I would like to just recognize just a small percentage of our bravest that we have here today. That makes up of firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, battalion chiefs, captains, lieutenants, and this is just a small portion of your Douglas County Fire and EMS Department. Also, just to make you aware, we are also graduating a bunch of recruits this weekend, class number 0925. So just put that on your calendar. So, whereas firefighters and emergency services personnel dedicate their lives to the protection of life and property, risking their own safety to keep our community safe, and whereas these professionals demonstrate unwavering commitment, often under hazardous conditions, and provide crucial, selfless service, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize and honor the memory of those firefighters who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, as well as those who have been injured or disabled or have been retired from service. And whereas International Firefighters Day, observed annually on May 4th, allows our community to show appreciation for the dedication, courage, and professionalism of all firefighter personnel and their families who support them. And whereas in 2026, we encourage citizens to participate in the sound off by pausing for a moment of silence to honor those lives of the fallen. Now, therefore, we, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim May 4th, 2026 as International Firefighters Day throughout Douglas County, Georgia, and we encourage the citizens of Douglas County to express their heartfelt gratitude to our firefighters and emergency services personnel. So proclaimed this 5th day of May 2026, Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones, Chairman, Henry Mitchell III, District 1, Whitney Kenner Jones, District 2, Martin Raxton, District 3, and Mark Alcarez, District 4.
Thank you so much, Fire Chief Dr. Miles Allen. Thank you. Certainly, courage and bravery is in the DNA of our firefighters. That's just a natural DNA. When others run from the fire, they run into the fire. So I would like everyone in this room to stand and recognize our firefighters. If y'all just come on up, firefighters, please come up. Our firefighters, would you please come forward?
Come up front, everybody. Come on up front. Madam Chair, if you don't mind.
And I got to call a motion.
Yeah, if you don't mind, my folk are on duty, so if we can go ahead and take their pictures now so we can relieve them.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, while you just think, I need to. Wow. I got a little ahead of myself. I need to call the motion, and then I'm gonna celebrate you, okay, and the Board of Commissioners. Board of Commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, Board?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Public Safety Chairman, you have the floor.
I just want to say to not just those that are standing in front of us, but to all those who serve our county, day in and day out, put their lives on the line. Thank you for all you do, and our county is much better because you serve it. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any other discussion, board? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries to celebrate this amazing day as a proclamation, May 4th, 2026, as International Firefighter Day in Douglas County, Georgia. And we will come down and take some photographs to allow you all to continue to serve and protect us. Thank you for every single thing you do, firefighters. Madam Clerk, you have the next item, please.
Okay. The next proclamation is proclaiming a countywide commitment to summer reading for students, parents, and families and the Douglas County community in partnership with the Douglas County School System. Dr. Trent North, Superintendent of Douglas County School System.
Good morning, Madam Commissioner and members of the board. I am Kasha Davis, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, and share regrets on behalf of Dr. Trent North, who could not be with us today. So our proclamation is a commitment to summer reading for students, parents, families, and the Douglas County community. Whereas reading is a foundational skill that promotes academic achievement, personal development, and lifelong learning. Whereas maintaining and strengthening literacy skills over the summer months helps prevent learning loss, commonly known as the summer slide, and ensures students are prepared for success in the new school year. Whereas fostering a culture of reading requires a shared commitment from students, parents, educators, families, and the broader community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Douglas County reaffirms its commitment to promoting summer reading for all students by ensuring access to high-quality books, digital resources, and engaging literacy programs. Be it further resolved that the school system will collaborate with parents, families, and community organizations, including libraries, faith-based groups, and local businesses to inspire and support reading opportunities for every student. Be it further resolved that the school system encourages students to set personal reading goals, explore a variety of genres and authors, and engage in conversations that deepen comprehension and foster a love of reading. Be it further resolved that as part of this initiative, the Douglas County community, students, educators, families, and community partners are challenged to collectively read 3 million minutes throughout the summer to promote engagement, consistency, and a shared commitment to literacy. Be it finally resolved that Douglas County celebrates and recognizes that united effort of students, families, educators, and community partners in building a brighter future through the power of literacy. May it be proclaimed and adopted today, May 5th, 2026, by the Douglas County Commission. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for presenting this proclamation. Reading is essential and foundational for all of us to thrive and become engaged and consistently do the things that needs to be done to communicate, number one, collaborate, and everything to make us successful in life. Reading is food for the soul. And how many minutes you said we got to read?
3 million minutes collectively.
All right, I'm gonna jump on board with
Yes.
the students and see what happens. But thank you. That's significant, but it really enhances those classrooms. My daughter's an English teacher,
Yes, ma'am.
and she is big on reading books, and she believes. And so, thank you for being here today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Board of Commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Martin Raxton, you have the floor.
All right. Good morning, and thank you, Dr. Davis, for bringing this proclamation to us. Being a parent of 2 sons that have gone through the Douglas County school system, I know how important it is to read.
Yes, sir.
And reading is truly fundamental. And even as a lifetime learner, just having the ability to read, reading at a level for comprehension is critical. And it's going to prepare our workforce for years to come and decades to come. So I am fully engaged and embracing with this. Let me know when there's another opportunity to come and read to students, because I really enjoy going to elementary schools and doing that.
Thank you.
So again, thank you for this proclamation, and Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Raxton. Any other remarks, Board? Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor, and we've had discussion. Please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries. So congratulations, and thank you for emphasizing the importance of reading. We're going to take your photograph. We would like to take a photograph with you, Dr. Davis. We would like to take a photograph. Are you leaving? Oh, okay, good, okay. We're going to move on, Madam Clerk.
The next proclamation, proclaiming the month of May 2026 as Older Americans Month in Douglas County. Dr. Consuela Gilchrist.
The seniors are in the house today.
All
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Board of Commissions, County Administration. Today, as you know, is Older Americans Month. The month of May is Older Americans Month, and I proudly stand before you this morning to read the proclamation. But before I begin reading of the proclamation, I would like to take a moment to honor the incredible older adults who are present with us today. Will you please stand? Woo! Your lives reflect a legacy of strength, wisdom, and resilience. You have helped shape our communities, guided generations, and laid the foundation upon which we continue to build. Your contributions, both seen and unseen, are deeply valued and appreciated. As we recognize Older Americans Month, we do so not only in acknowledgement, but in gratitude. We honor your stories, your sacrifices, and your enduring impact you continue to make each and every day. So today, we honor you, we salute you, and we love you. So thank you. Also, I would like to ask our senior services staff and our Parks and Rec staff to please join me. Come on.
All right.
So, I personally would like to extend a heartfelt appreciation to our dedicated staff for their commitment and unwavering support. Your work ensures that older adults are not only served, but valued and uplifted each and every day. I'm trying not to cry, but I wanted y'all to come this way, but y'all going that way, okay. So I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for what you do. You don't complain. You show up every day ready to work. And we know some days we all have a plan, but it don't always work out that way. But you all pivot without complaint, and you serve with heart. And our motto is, we have heart. And thank you guys so much for being present, being accounted for, and showing up each and every day with heart. Thank you. Now, on to the proclamation. Whereas Douglas County is home to a vibrant and growing population of older adults who enrich our community through their wisdom, experience, and continued contributions. And whereas Older Americans Month provides an opportunity to recognize the vital role of older adults in our county, and to reaffirm their commitment, our commitment to supporting their independence, well-being, and quality of life. And whereas the 2026 theme, Champion Your Health, encourages older adults and communities alike to focus on promoting physical, mental, and social well-being through active lifestyles, access to services, and meaningful engagement. And whereas Douglas County Senior Services has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the health and welfare of older residents by serving over 50,000 meals each year, helping ensure proper nutrition and connection. And whereas Douglas County Senior Services has enhanced quality of life by providing over $75,000 in material aid funding that serves as a vital lifeline for older adults in our community by helping to meet fundamental needs such as food insecurity, housing support, transportation, medical supplies, and other essential services that foster stability, hope, and self-respect. And whereas the safety, dignity, and health of older adults and at-risk older adults are of the utmost importance to our community, staff and programs have successfully obtained SAGE credentials to demonstrate a distinguished commitment to excellence in serving, protecting, and advocating for vulnerable populations in Douglas County. And whereas staff have worked diligently to earn certification as certified at-risk crime tactics specialists to demonstrate our obligation to recognize, prevent, and respond to crimes, exploitation, abuse, neglect, and fraud targeting older adults. And whereas Douglas County seniors continue to thrive creatively and socially, with members earning first place in creative expression during the first ever statewide line dance showcase. Yes. Sponsored by the Georgia Association of Senior Centers. And whereas these accomplishments highlight the necessity of community partnerships, programs, and intergenerational interactions that empower older adults to lead active and fulfilling lives through volunteerism, educational opportunities, and meaningful work. Now, therefore, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Older Americans Month in Douglas County, Georgia, and urge all residents to recognize the contributions of older adults, support programs that enhance their welfare, and join in efforts to champion the health and vitality of our senior community. So signed, sealed, and proclaimed this 6th day of May 2026 by Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones, Chairman, Henry Mitchell III, District 1, Whitney Kenner Jones, District 2, Martin Raxton, District 3, Mark Acarez, District 4, and Vice Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I love the pom-poms. Just a minute of point of privilege, board, to allow me just to have a few bragging rights on our seniors. I will say that Douglas County has the most active, energetic, resilient, and young at heart seniors in the United States. So give yourself a hand. With that being said, thank you so much, Dr. Gilchrist, for reading this wonderful, well-deserved proclamation. And at this time, I would like to call a motion. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve this proclamation?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board? We
Yes,
have a.
yes, Madam Chair.
Vice Chair, you have the floor then.
I just want you to know you've warmed my heart already this morning because we deal with a lot. And so just to have, you can feel the love in the room and the excitement and the unity coming from you. And that is a true blessing. I don't think there's been a time that I've not walked into the Woody Fight Center or the Lithia Springs Senior Center and not felt the love and hear the laughter. The laughter of all of you, how you just, when you get together, as you can tell, God bless you guys sometimes. But we're excited to have the new senior center about to be open here on Fairburn Road.
Yes.
And then in the works is the senior center for District 4. So it is coming.
Yes.
But that being said, thank you for being here this morning. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chair. Commissioner Martin Raxton, you have the floor.
All right, and good morning. It is great to be here. It is great to recognize this incredible audience and the population that you make up, as well as the staff and the team. Dr. Gilchrist, great job under your leadership and tutelage. You can just see the love that the community has for you in the programs that you and your team are implementing. So congratulations, job well done. And I certainly enjoyed the opportunity of serving as kind of the leader with when we had our senior day here at the county courthouse last year, where we invited our senior sisters to come and learn more about what we do as an operation and as a governance. So I love that and would love to help spearhead that again if that becomes available. But as a proud baby boomer, you know, it is good to stay active, to be active. I went out and actually tried to play kickball the other day. I'm still limping. But job well done, and it is great to be here and to just recognize the great work that each and every one of you have done. Kudos, and Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Raxton. Any other?
Yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Mitchell, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, to the staff, and I mean, I must say to the staff and Dr. Gilchrist, your leadership with our seniors, you can feel the love and you notice the love all the time when it comes to the seniors. I need to work on the line dance side of it, but I just want to say, you know, congratulations to all of our seniors for the job well done, and to our staff and you, Dr. Gilchrist, with all the up-and-coming senior citizen centers being built and how great it is. And I think this board sends a true message that we are concerned and we want to make sure our seniors are well taken care of. And I think we send a bold message to our seniors that we love you, we care about you, and we stand on your shoulders for the future and look forward to the future. So thank you for allowing us to stand here and sit here and vote and pass this proclamation on how great and well you guys are doing as a staff and how you guys are doing as seniors. So thank you again, and job well done. Thank you again. I yield back.
All right. Thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. As a senior, I just have to get this out before we go any further. Certainly, I'm a senior myself and missed my senior prom in high school, but guess what? They said good things come to those who wait, so I had a chance to go to the senior prom a year, about a year ago. So we had a great time, didn't we? Yeah. All right. We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in, please cast your votes, please.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. So let's give ourselves a hand, seniors. Thank you. And we'll come down momentarily to take photographs.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Okay. The next proclamation is proclaiming the life and legacy of Mr. John Willis Stewart. Kristen Moses is going to read that this morning.
Okay. Dr. Davis.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Board. Thank you
Good
again for
morning.
allowing us for this proclamation. Mr. John W. Stewart, some of you may not know who he is, but all of us are familiar with Stewart Middle School. And he's the gentleman that the school was named after. He passed away last week at 102 years old. And what a blessing. And I was looking for the seniors, and as Pogo said, I finally found the seniors, and us is it. Okay. We have a couple parts of a proclamation, and we thank you again for honoring Mr. Stewart. The first one is from the city of Douglasville, which for time's sake I won't read it, Your Honor, but we'll be presenting them to Ms. Hazel Burton is going to receive them, but we have a lot of other people here, some of Mr. Stewart's teachers, several of his students, and all that are here. And then we have one from the Board of Education. Dr. North is not here, but Dr. Kaosha Davis will present that one, and then we'll get the one from the county, and then hopefully we can get some pictures and celebrations together. Again, thank you, Dr. Davis.
Hello again.
Hello, Dr. Davis. You have the floor.
Whereas the Douglas County School System mourns the passing of John W. Stewart, a devoted educator and administrator whose legacy continues to shape the Douglas County community. And whereas Stewart made significant contributions to the Douglas County school system for over 31 years, including a tenure as assistant superintendent before retiring in 1981. And whereas throughout his career, Stewart cultivated a great environment for teaching and learning as a teacher and basketball coach at Hutchinson High School, and later as principal of R.L. Cousins School, Douglas County Junior High School, Douglas County Middle School, and John W. Stewart Middle School. And whereas Stewart's tireless advocacy for the best interests of students and his commitment to providing a high-quality education inspires colleagues, administrators, and future educators. And whereas, in honor of Stewart's extraordinary legacy, the Douglas County School System proudly bears his name at John W. Stewart Middle School, a lasting tribute to his lifetime of service. Now, therefore, the Douglas County Board of Education expresses its deep condolences and profound gratitude for the life and the legacy of John W. Stewart, proclaimed this first day of May, 2026.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davis.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice
morning.
Chair,
Good morning.
Board of Commissioners, and County Administration. It is my absolute pleasure to read the proclamation in honor of the life and legacy of Mr. John Willis Stewart. Whereas Mr. John Willis Stewart, born June 25th, 1924, and who passed on April 19th, 2026, lived a remarkable life of 101 years, defined by faith, integrity, and dedicated service. And whereas Mr. Stewart honorably served his country in the United States Army during World War II, later pursuing higher education at Tuskegee Institute and New York University, preparing for a lifetime of leadership and impact. And whereas he devoted more than 3 decades of service to the Douglas County school system as a teacher, coach, assistant principal, and founding principal of R.L. Cousins High School, shaping generations of students through wisdom, discipline, and compassion. And whereas his legacy of educational excellence was permanently honored when the former R.L. Cousins High School was renamed John W. Stewart Middle School, ensuring his influence continues to inspire future generations. And whereas Mr. Stewart was a committed civic leader who served on numerous boards and supported efforts advancing civil rights, education, and opportunity throughout Douglas County and the state of Georgia. And whereas, alongside his late wife of 72 years, Juanita Elizabeth Ellison Stewart, he built a life rooted in love, service, and generosity that uplifted family, friends, students, and the broader community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Douglas County Board of Commissioners does hereby honor and celebrate the life, legacy, and enduring contributions of Mr. John Willis Stewart and expresses its deepest appreciation for the profound and lasting impact he leaves on Douglas County. Be it further proclaimed that this board extends its heartfelt condolences to his family and all who were touched by his extraordinary life of service. Thank you. I yield the floor, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christian. Certainly, our deepest condolences are extended to the family, but certainly want to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments and attributes that Mr. John Willis Stewart had on Douglas County, and starting certainly with Stewart Middle School and all the accomplishments and how I say he was double talented. He was a principal and a coach. That speaks volumes about who he was as a person. So again, this is an honor from the Board of Commissioners to extend this proclamation, and I will call a motion. Board of Commissioners, you've heard the proclamation. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, Board?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Mitchell, you have the floor.
And I'll be brief. I just, you must say, though, that a man of this stature, a man of this, his legacy will continue to live on. With just the naming of the school, which was R.L. Cousin to John W. Stewart Middle School, is just an amazing public servant that he showed upon us. And even serving as at one time the superintendent. But I had the honor of having conversations with him and having to be a part of his life. Now, it was the latter part of his life, but it was nice to have that kind of conversation, to be in a meeting, to hear the wherewithal that he carried and he brought. When he came into the room, you knew there was somebody of importance in the room. So I just want to say to his family, my condolences, but we're here celebrating his legacy, celebrating all the things that he's done, and celebrating for many of you and us that have actually was a part of his legacy and actually went to school and saw and had conversations with him. Because I know there's many in this room could probably say, I attest to have that one moment with him. So I'm just touched and glad to be honored to present this proclamation on his behalf to his family and to wherever that this proclamation will lie. So again, thank you, and thank you for allowing us to do some great honors in his name. So thank you again, Madam Chair, and I yield back.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. With that being said, we have okay, I'm sorry. Vice Chair, you have the floor.
No, just to be brief, but you will know this if you went to John W. Stewart Middle School. To honor him, Once an eagle, always an eagle. And now you're back, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any other remarks, board? Okay, please prepare to cast your electronic votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and motion carries to honor Mr. John Willis Stewart. We're going to come down and take photographs, and we will start with our, let's see, we will start with the reading. With, Dr. Davis, if you could, for the commitment to summer reading for our students. And then we'll follow accordingly. anyone that's interested. Okay, thank you. They had a great time. All right, Board of Commissioners, we shall resume our meeting, and certainly it was an honor and a distinct pleasure to award the proclamations, this well-deserved proclamations this morning. We had 5. We're going to move on to our next item. Madam Clerk, would you begin our agenda items?
Yes, ma'am. We'll start with our business items, new business, and it is number 9, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Douglasville to construct a public multi-use trail that will connect the Selman Drive Library to the Douglasville Town Green, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Okay. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the intergovernment agreement with the City of Douglasville to construct a public multi-use trail that will connect the Selman Drive Library to the Douglasville Town Green, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board?
I'll just only add, yes, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I'll just only add, I had a discussion with the city manager about this sliver of land that it's going to be donated to us, by the way. It is going to be donated to us to complete the trails. So the trail will be from Selman to Town Green, but it will be owned by the Douglas County. And the city is still continuing, want to use, I think, $1.7 million toward the construction. 1.5 million that's going to be part of the trail. So only thing we're doing is the, what are we doing? Dr. Gilchrist, come on up and help me with this. So, but I just want to just make note of that while she's coming to the forefront, that I had some conversation with these guys to make sure that this is not any liability or anything of that caliber, but it'll be pending legal review because we need the deed and everything else that needs to be transferred and all that good stuff, though. So, Dr. Gilchrist.
Yes, good morning again.
Good morning.
Good morning. The city, they've pledged $1.5 million for the construction of the trail between the Town Green, the Selman Library, and the Health Department.
That's correct.
The county will be responsible for construction documents, and surveying, which is $150,000, and then also maintenance at the end of the construction process.
And I did have conversation with legal, just to kind of make them aware of the conversation. So I think we're okay, long as the legal side of it is completed, and long as she's happy on that end.
There was a question at yesterday's work session, good morning.
Good morning.
Regarding liability and
Right.
whose responsibility will it be once the trail is constructed. And so one of the things that Dr. Gilchrist and Mr. Worthington did, and now as we hear Commissioner Mitchell, is check with Douglasville to see what that looks like. And so it's my understanding that we will be deeded the portion of the trail that we don't own.
Right.
It is actually not owned by the City of Douglasville, but some developer.
That's correct.
Who is going to be deeding it to the county, and we will then be responsible for any liability, maintenance, and all of those things thereafter. So it will be our trail. We are awaiting the quitclaim deed on the portion that we do not own. And so hopefully that answers the question from yesterday.
Thank you. Outside of that, I appreciate it, and I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay. Please, any other discussion? Please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. Madam Clerk?
Okay. Recommendation of no objection to the annexation and rezoning petition for 3154 Bright Star Road, parcel 013102500077 for 67 townhomes on 9.3 acres, Commission District 4, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Okay. Any, Allison.
All right.
Duncan,
Yes,
you have the floor.
Thank you again. Good morning, Madam Chair. Just briefly, I will not reiterate what I had said yesterday, but I wanted to follow up and let you know that I do have Bruce Mercer here with Douglas County Department of Transportation. If there are any specific questions about our DOT, I did also confer with Attorney Wiggins, and I believe, I don't want to speak for her, but I believe that we are in agreement that traffic alone and transportation concerns may not rise to the standard of being able to file a formal objection for the annexation request under statute. But nonetheless, I wanted to make sure that we could properly address the concerns about traffic if you wanted to continue that discussion today, and then further understand if it is the will of the board to nonetheless move forward with raising a formal objection, or if simply a letter outlining concerns would be sufficient for this application.
Okay. Have any questions, board?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for Bruce. Nope.
Thank you, Alice.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So, as I spoke yesterday, it seems to be, and I've been getting this consistently through a lot of my constituents who live on John West Road and on Bright Star with the new warehouses that are being built over there that the city has approved, and also one that I know that's coming behind the residents on John West Road. And there's a lot of concerns about the traffic, a whole lot, and especially you get around that 5 o'clock time frame or 6, it's both either going toward Veterans Memorial Highway or going back towards Douglas Boulevard. That traffic consistently just backs up. I have real concerns over adding more townhomes on that side from, going down towards Veterans Memorial Highway. Have you seen a rise, or has your department seen a rise, or had any complaints in regards to traffic in that area?
I think we're aware of the saturation that happens along Bright Star Road. A lot of that is being caused by the city because they've had construction of some very, very large industrial area development there. I will say that we've been working with the city closely, and a new traffic signal is to be installed at the intersection of Bright Star Road and Bright Star Connector. It's no cost to the county. It's going to be funded by the city through their developers that has created some of these problems. That will help some of the saturation. That will help basically more in creating more gaps when that signal starts allowing multiple directions to travel. It creates a little bit more gaps. But yes, we're aware that Bright Star Road carries about 10,000 cars a day. Seems to be increasing about 1,000 cars a year. Is what our records show.
Okay. And then also to note that is, even though that light's going to be put there at that connector, it's still the bottlenecks are at Douglas Boulevard and Veterans Memorial Highway. And I've been getting complaints. Matter of fact, one about 2 weeks ago, which I sent them to the city, was a lady who was complaining about her business that cars are driving over, getting off on Bright Star and driving through the parking lots of the business to go up there to the gas station to try to make a left. Well, now the gas station owner is also saying, well, it's blocking people from trying to, it's unsafe in front of his business because people are driving through the parking lot and it's backing up in his parking lot and customers can't get in. So I appreciate that. That was just the input that I needed to hear. But Madam Chair, I would still like to make a motion to deny the annexation for this 67 townhomes in the 9.3 acres.
Can I jump
Okay.
in,
Yeah,
Madam Chair?
Madam County Attorney, you have the floor.
So I believe the Board of Commissioners, based on your agenda item, is whether or not we're going to object. And so is that what you're wanting to do, is to object to the annexation
Yes,
and
ma'am, to
rezoning?
object.
And so if you could just restate your motion.
Okay, Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to object to the annexation of the 9.3 acres for 67 townhomes at 3154 Bright Star Road.
Annexation and rezoning.
And annexation and rezoning.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Board? Okay. Being no discussion, please prepare to cast your votes.
No, I think.
Motion carries 5-0 to deny,
To object.
to object.
Yeah, it's just that on the agenda, it reads in the reverse.
Right.
And so we just need to be sure that everyone here is unanimously for objecting.
Yes.
Although the agenda says no objection.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, we'll prepare a letter of objection. Please understand that while we don't think transportation is a basis for objection, we will see where it goes with the DCA and we'll report back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Okay, the next item is consideration of the proposed 2026 Merit Handbook revisions as recommended by the Personnel Review Board, which includes updates to Section 13.42, salary reviews, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Danielle.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Commissioners, and Administration. So the legal guidance that we received yesterday during the work session was to parse out each item for the board to vote on them individually or make any modifications as desired. And if there is a modification or an amendment, rather, that would serve as a new motion. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you all may have in that regard.
Okay. Any questions for our Managing Director, Nichols? Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you could restate.
Okay. The one that she just did?
Yeah, and then we'll,
Okay. Consideration of the proposed 2026 Merit Handbook revision as recommended by the Personnel Review Board, which includes an update to the following section, Section 13-100. Whoop, I'm on the wrong one, Chairman, sorry.
Okay. Yes.
Consideration of the proposed 2026 Merit Handbook revisions as recommended by the Personnel Review Board, which includes updates to Section 13.42 salary reviews, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
okay. Do we have a motion, Board?
Madam Chair, based on the discussion from yesterday, I have a motion to deny the Personnel Review Board update Section 13.42 salary reviews.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion, Board? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your vote.
Same thing's gonna be, it's in reverse there.
It's not allowing us to change
Okay,
it.
I will take a hand vote.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, Board of Commissioners, if you could restate your motion.
To
with-
deny the modifications as presented by the Personnel Review Board to Section 13.42 for salary reviews.
Okay.
And my second still standing.
Okay, Commissioner Mitchell has a second. Any discussion, Board? All in favor of denial, please indicate by raising your right hand. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote with no opposition, and the motion carries to deny. Madam Clerk?
The next item would be consideration of the proposed 2026 Merit Handbook revision as recommended by the Personnel Review Board, which includes an update to the following section, 13-100-3A, types of disciplinary action, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Okay, do we have a motion, Board?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we deny the revision to the personnel review, or excuse me, merit handbook, section 13-103A.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second.
Just for discussion, if you'll just kind of reiterate what was stated, and if we could, Madam Chair, throughout each one of these, that you'll get up and restate what, not the discussion, but kind of what is all, which one we're voting on and why. Okay.
Absolutely. So, in reference.
And I yield back, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You have the floor.
Okay, so section 13-103A.
It was the cap on the 90 days.
Is types of disciplinary action suspension. What was proposed is imposing a 90-day cap to suspensions. And what was discussed was the implications of imposing that 90-day cap, any limitations associated with it, and what we also, and what the board also asked questions about is the difference between a suspension that's related to specifically a particular act or action versus suspension related to an investigatory process.
Okay. All right. Please prepare to cast your votes.
Five oh to deny.
Okay. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries to deny. Madam Clerk,
Okay.
you have the floor.
Consideration of the proposed 2026 merit handbook revision as recommended by the Personnel Review Board, which includes an update to the following section, Section 13-103A, types of disciplinary action, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
I think you just read that.
Oh, I just haven't, there's just too many of these. Consideration of the proposed 2026 merit handbook revision as recommended by Personnel Review Board, which includes an update to the following section, 13-1345, retirement benefits, proposed new section, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Okay, do we have a motion, board?
Madam Chair, based on the discussion from yesterday, I make a motion to deny the modification of Section 13-134, Section 5, which addresses retirement benefits as a proposed new section, and authorize Finance and Human Resources to conduct the actuarial studies.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? And certainly if you want to weigh in, you can. Do you?
Yes, so the discussion yesterday
Managing Director.
Surrounded the financial implications associated with such change and details around ensuring that the department's budget could support, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one, regarding the amount that it would cost the county to invest into the retirement plan if the rules of retirement were changed.
Okay.
And that's all done through ACCG.
Correct. ACCG would be responsible for conducting the actuarial study.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion, board? Please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion passed 5-0 for deny.
Okay. Madam Clerk, you have the next item.
Okay. Number 14, consideration of the proposed 2026 Merit Handbook revisions as recommended by the Personnel Review Board, which includes an update to the following section, 13-102, emergency relief from duty, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion, board?
Yes, Madam Chair. Based on discussion from yesterday, I make a motion to approve the modifications to Section 13-102 with a modification of the 24 hours being changed to 5 days.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? I think we.
This particular proposed change, the board discussed whether it made sense for, or if 24 hours was sufficient time to evaluate the need to place an employee on emergency relief or relieve them from emergency, to relieve them on an emergency basis for duty. And the board discussed increasing that time frame from 24 hours to 5 days.
Okay. Any other discussion, board? Please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we have a 5-0 unanimous vote to approve tab number 14.
Number 15, approval of the proposed 2026 Merit Handbook revisions as recommended by the Personnel Review Board, which includes an update to the following section, Section 13-9B, Personnel Review Board.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. Based on the discussion from yesterday, I would make a, excuse me, a motion to approve the PRB Board's recommendation to modify the word majority to plurality, and then for the Douglas County Board of Commissioners to send back to the PRB the recommended modification to that section and how PRB board members are elected, with the recommendation being 1 member elected by the Board of Commissioners, 1 member elected by the, a plurality of the constitutional officers, and 1 by a plurality of employees.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further elaboration, Managing Director?
Yes, so as an additional overlay to the motion, what the board discussed yesterday is the need to change the wording majority to plurality so that we don't have runoffs based on the nature of the voting process. In addition to that, the motion or the guidance that we received from the county attorney is to bifurcate and introduce a new proposal during the next quarterly meeting before the PRB to define or to modify how voting currently occurs in terms of the 3 positions for the Personnel Review Board.
Okay. Any further discussion, board? Please.
If Madam Chair, so I'll add is that the plurality language will be changed upon this vote if it's approved. But the language about the selection of members of the PRB will go back to the PRB because it's beyond the scope of what they sent you. And so their quarterly meeting, I believe, is on May 12th. And so we will take that language back to them so that they can review.
Okay. All right. If there's no further discussion, please prepare to cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. So thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, you have the next one?
Okay, number 16, approval of a new 2-year lease with Old Courthouse, Inc., and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Okay, do we have a motion? Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to deny the approval of a new 2-year lease with Old Courthouse, Inc., and well, I guess to deny.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second. All in favor of denial, please indicate. But do we need to do a hand vote on this one? Okay, please.
Madam Chair, I think that you can do the vote because she'll put it in as denial, so you can do the electronic.
Okay.
That
Vice
discussion.
Chair, you have the floor.
This, going back after what was brought to the Board of Commissioners yesterday in regards to some issues with compliance with the Old Courthouse, Inc. That is one of the things that we had quite a long discussion about yesterday. To understand this, I'm going to say this, as I said yesterday, this does not mean that I've been for the courthouse since day one, but I believe that we need to put Old Courthouse, Inc. There's some issues with what was brought to our attention yesterday about Old Courthouse, Inc. We need, if we're going to going forward with our museum, we need a new board, a new board, which there are a portion of a new board, but we need a whole new board. We need to establish, this is just my thoughts, we need to establish another company to be the 501(c)(3). Old Courthouse, Inc., there were some things that was brought to our attention yesterday that was concerning and factual, and if we decided to go further with Old Courthouse, Inc., the Board of Commissioners could be held liable to some of these issues. And so that is my recommendation. That's how I feel. I want the museum. I've never said I don't want the museum. I want the museum. But we need to do a change, and we need to become or have this new 501(c) set up. And there needs to be a dialogue with this entire board in regards to what we're looking at going forward. And we're willing to have that dialogue and to help guide us in the right direction, because we don't want the museum just to be okay. I want the museum to be great. Everybody loves it. We love it. We're here. We're here. I'm not going to say I want the museum. And my fellow commissioners know I want it to stay there. But we've got to make some modifications to how it is. And so that's just my opinion, but I wanted to publicly say it because I've been for it from day one, but some of those things were brought to our attention. We have a fiduciary duty to do right. And so with that, I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right. Those, Madam County Attorney, I have a question. Those items that were brought for that was just stated by the Vice Chair, is there any opportunity or room for those to be considered conditions? If this goes, I'm just asking.
Certainly. So the motion on the floor is to deny the lease.
I know.
So it certainly can be conditions to that motion, because there would need to be a new motion to do something, right? Whether it's some type of conversation, some type of commitment from the new organization to do certain things, whatever it is, or if the majority desires to go forward with the lease, right? Understanding the pitfalls that were discussed on yesterday. But the conditions that were just stated, if that's what we're calling them, they certainly would not ride with the current motion.
Yeah, would not ride with this one, but they're not. They're not illegal. Is that, I'm asking that. Those, if they were conditions, are they illegal?
And we are talking about name changing. Is that illegal? Certainly not. Okay. That's not an illegal act for them to create a new entity.
Okay, just want to make sure, because you got to guide us in here. All right, we have a motion on the floor to deny. We have a second, so please, any other discussion, board? Please prepare your, cast your votes to deny. That's what you.
Chairman, we have,
You gotta
we need
save
your
it,
vote
Madam
still.
Chair. You gotta save it.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry, I'm looking.
We have a 2 yes, 2 no, and 1 abstain.
So then the vote doesn't pass.
Okay, need to call another motion. Okay,
What'd you say?
all right, so it did not pass, so what we're gonna do,
Madam County Attorney, I do have a point of clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
If you participate in the discussion, you participate in the exchange of information on the agenda item, does not the resolution that we previously passed preclude a commissioner from abstaining?
Please refer me to what resolution you're speaking of.
We passed a resolution last year. I don't remember what the resolution number is, and the clerk can look it up, but that if you are going to abstain, that you needed to state what the basis of your abstention was, declare whatever your conflict was, and then state that, then recuse yourself from participating at all in the agenda item.
So you do have a code section on abstention.
We did a resolution because the code section was silent as to that issue.
So we would need to pull that resolution so we can make sure procedure is followed. I will bring your attention to section 7-9. All members of the County Board of Commissioners attending a Board of Commissioners meeting shall vote on each matter placed before it. A member may abstain from voting only in the instance of a conflict of interest. An official or appointed official who has an interest that such official or appointed official has reason to believe may be affected by such officials or appointed officials' acts or actions, or by the official acts or actions of the county, shall, and so this gets us there, disclose that interest, and shall abstain from participating in such official acts or actions affected thereby. That interest shall be disclosed by such official or appointed official prior to there being any official act or actions. And so for whatever member has abstained from this vote, they will certainly need to disclose, and so that vote, Madam Chair, will not count.
okay.
I did.
Okay. Okay.
My reasoning for abstaining was,
Well, before you disclose, I think we need to be sure what motion, because that motion is dead because there was not a disclosure prior to the vote. So you need to know what you're voting on before you abstain, because we will not be able to go back and use the votes that just happened for the purpose of the motion that was on the floor. I would recommend that the motion be redone with a second, and in the discussion before the vote, you can disclose your reason for abstention.
So I need to go first.
Do you, so that means that Kendall Jones need to restate?
Restate.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to deny approval of a new lease, of a new 2-year lease with Old Courthouse, Inc.
Madam Chair, I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion, board? Have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast.
Is this where you're going to make your disclosure, sir?
Yeah.
yes. So my reason for abstaining is, you know, I'm friends with some of the board members, the old board members, and quite close friends. And so I don't feel that it would be fair for me, in regards to what was brought to our attention yesterday, for me to go forward and either vote to terminate their lease or to vote to keep their lease. So for that fact, we're talking about Old Courthouse, Inc., not anything what becomes of new board members, talking about Old Courthouse, Inc. And so for that reason, that's my reason for abstaining.
I do want to read into the record the basis of an interest. You already heard section 7-9, that requires an abstention to only be in those instances where there's a conflict of interest. An interest is described as any director or any direct, there's a typo here, any direct or indirect material benefit held by or accruing to an official or appointed official as a result of a contract or transaction, which is or may be the subject of an official action or with the county. Unless otherwise provided, the term interest does not include any remote interest. For the purpose of this chapter, an official or appointed official shall be deemed to have an interest in transactions involving any one of the following. It's the person or such person's immediate family, any person with whom a contractual relationship, either written or implied exists, whereby such person may receive any payment or other benefit, including an agreement for employment, any business in which such person is a director, official, employee, prospective employee, or substantial greater than 10% shareholder.
All right. You're very clear and explicit, so that means, sounds like everyone on this particular board right now at this moment needs to cast a vote.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. All right. We have a motion and a second on the floor to deny. Please cast your votes. Can I do it again? Okay. Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. We've had discussion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of denial, please raise your right hand. All opposed of denial, please raise your right hand. We have a 3-2 vote, and the motion carries for not, for denial, not to deny. Am I saying that correct?
So the motion was for denial.
Yeah, right.
And 3 people voted in favor of denial.
No. 2 voted in favor of denial. The motion failed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm
sorry, I was reading the resolution.
Okay.
And I didn't catch the vote.
Okay. All right. With that being stated, do we have a motion? Do we have a motion, board? Let me certainly be clear. Certainly, I did not authorize, Anish, please. I did not authorize this item to go on the agenda as the chairman, who I have full authority to put it on here. But it's my understanding that 2 commissioners brought this forth. And I'm going to have the courage of Coretta Scott King, the heart of Harriet Tubman, the soul of Sojourner Truth, and the fierceness of Fannie Lou Hamer this morning to go forward. The question is, do we have a motion to approve? And I'll call the motion. The motion is, I would like to make a motion to extend the museum lease for 2 years through May 31st, 2028 with conditions. If approved, a new application has to be submitted for a new 501c3 under a new name by December 31st, 2026. If approved, the newly formed 501c3 will provide the BOC reports and proof of filings of tax returns and record of audit reviews and of the review results during the first BOC meeting work session in June 2027. Do we have that on the record? Clerk, Madam Attorney, I want to make sure that I just didn't break the law. Tell me.
Well, so if you want the organization to create a new, you wouldn't extend the current lease because the current lease is with the old organization.
Right.
So that wouldn't make sense.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then a new lease would need to then be extended to whoever the new organization is with whatever terms and conditions that you're going to put on there. In addition, as I mentioned to you guys yesterday, you need to establish that the old courthouse is surplus property and that the museum is for a public benefit so you can get around the competitive bidding issue. Thirdly, you will also need to make the lease into the fiscal year or calendar year for the purposes of Douglas County that's the same, not a blanket 2-year lease, because you cannot bind subsequent commissioners. And so if that is the will of this board, is to issue a lease to something, because the entity doesn't exist, the new entity doesn't exist, then it would seem that the motion to extend the current lease would not be appropriate.
Okay, can you guide me in here? Right. I don't,
What's the goal? What's the end goal here? Is it the end goal to give a new entity a lease?
it appears that we don't have a new entity right now.
I think there is.
It is?
You might want to ask.
Could I just allow them to come up and help me?
Certainly.
Okay. Attorney?
No, it does not.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I apologize for trying to interrupt. It's in my point of order.
Let me also be clear, Madam Chair, I'm sorry, this is not at a presentation.
Right.
If you guys have a question, please ask a question, but this is not an opportunity for them to present like yesterday.
All right. Well, can Mr. John present what we
No.
have? No, can he, you have a copy of, we've kind of done what you're suggesting, and I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to get changed before we weren't asking you to vote on the old courthouse. And that was that's where Mr. John, we was up all last night, and I heard Ms. Kenner and all, and I heard everybody loud and clear. And that's no longer existent. And Mr. John here want to tell you about what our organization is. That's all we want. And that's what you have a copy of.
Madam Chair, if there's a question by the Board of Commissioners that you guys need answered to make an informed vote, let's ask the question, and they need to answer the question.
What is the new organization?
Yes.
Can you tell me that, and then we're gonna, is there a new organization?
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay, you will.
I created a new entity.
Can you speak into the microphone?
I'm sorry.
Please.
I created a new entity called DC Museum, Inc., which will be a 501c3 organization. It's a nonprofit Georgia association. It was filed early this morning. We will be filing for a 501c3 approval with the IRS, which will meet all the requirements for a charitable organization. And it was filed this morning. It should be approved within probably 2 weeks. And once that's approved, we file for the IRS exemption. And we have three board members now, 4 officers. It's a membership organization, so that you will come in and you will apply for a membership to be a member of the new DC Museum, Inc., and has bylaws set up to run the organization.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, you answered.
Thank you.
I read the stuff they said.
Okay. Any other? Commissioner Kenner Jones, you have the floor.
So I just want to make sure that I'm following correctly. You have filed for your articles of incorporation, but you have not been approved as a 501c3 by the state of Georgia or registered with the IRS. You're waiting for those approvals.
Okay. The state filing has been made. But the state of Georgia takes about 10 days to 2 weeks to actually approve it. But once it's approved, it relates back to the day of filing, which was this morning early. Now, the 501c3, I cannot file until I have the formal approval by the state of Georgia. So that's that delay.
So then, Madam County Attorney, at this point, because there's not an approval, there is not actually a new entity or a new certified and approved nonprofit with the state of Georgia for us to sign a lease with. Is that correct?
That is correct. The entity has not been formed. There has been filings, but it hasn't been formed.
Correct. And then, am I also correct, under OCGA 3610-1, for us as a Board of Commissioners to approve any contract, and just to make sure that I'm not incorrect, a lease is a contract, is that correct?
That is correct.
And we cannot issue a contract that has not been reduced to writing with all of the provisions, terms and conditions laid out in accordance with the law, and then posted, I believe it's 7 days to the public so that it can be made a part of the record, and then we can vote on that. Otherwise, we are not in compliance with the statute. Is that correct?
I don't know yet. I'm going to read the statute.
And I apologize in advance. I may have the number of days wrong, but I'm positive it has to be in writing.
$36.10.
I think it's 3610-1.
That's for Public Works
Hold
contract.
on, sorry.
I do not think that applies. Now, 366013 does apply.
Did you read it?
Yes. Certainly.
Please.
Each county or municipality in this state shall be authorized to enter into multi-year lease purchase or lease purchase contracts of all kinds for the acquisition of goods, materials, real and personal property, services, and supplies, provided that any such contract shall contain provisions for the following. 1, the contract shall terminate absolutely and without further obligation on the part of the county at the close of the calendar or fiscal year in which it was executed and at the close of each succeeding calendar or fiscal year for which it may be renewed as provided in this code section, which is why I said 2 years is not okay. Number 2, the contract may provide for automatic renewal unless positive action is taken by the county to terminate such contract, and the nature of such action shall be determined by the county and specified in the contract. Number 3, the contract shall state the total obligation of the county for the calendar or fiscal year of execution and shall further state the total obligation which will be incurred in each calendar or fiscal year renewal term if renewed. And 4, the contract shall provide that the title to any supplies, materials, equipment, or other personal property shall remain in the vendor until fully paid by the county or municipality. That doesn't apply because this would be a lease. Then B is in addition to the provisions enumerated in Section A, any contract authorized by the code section may. So the first 4 that I read are shalls, it's not negotiable. The following ones are mays. A provision which requires that the contract will terminate immediately and absolutely at such time as appropriated and otherwise unobligated funds are no longer available to satisfy the obligations of the county under the contract or any other provision reasonably necessary to protect the interests of the county.
Okay.
I just want to make sure there's nothing else in here that is applicable. I will add that there is additional case law that wouldn't be in the code section that will require, as I stated, the public interest benefit, that will require the surplus properties language that I just mentioned.
And I do apologize also, Madam County Attorney, but from an Open Meetings Act perspective, that's what I was getting the notice. What is the notice requirement to the public of a contract that the Board of Commissioners is considering?
So
Is there one?
I don't see that in the contract requirements. Where are you reading that from?
No, I'm asking in the Open Meetings Act, not in the contract.
Oh, no, the Open Meetings Act does not require there to be, I'll go to Title 50, but it does not require there to be any public advertising. I will say, though, regardless of what, in the absence of that language, I don't think that there's sufficient information at this time to issue a lease, a contract to the individuals because we need some terms, the conditions that Madam Chair read to reduce it to writing. I'm going to the Open Meetings Act, and that's in 50-14-1.
bear with us.
I do not see that to be a requirement under the Open Meetings Act. Now, if you're talking about advertising the agenda, is that what you're trying to get at?
I'm sorry, Madam County Attorney, what was the last question?
If you were talking about notice to the public of the agenda item?
Yes.
Okay, so that is, the agenda items have to be available to the public as soon as they're available. That's D1. Such information, I'm sorry, every agency subject to this chapter shall prescribe the time, place, and dates of regular meetings. Such information shall be available to the general public, and a notice containing such information shall be posted at least 1 week in advance and maintained in a conspicuous place available to the public at the regular meeting of any agency or committee. Meetings shall be held in accordance with the regular schedule, but nothing in this subsection shall preclude an agency from canceling or postponing any regular scheduled meeting. So that's where you're getting the week from.
Gotcha.
Prior to any meeting, I'm sorry, this is E1. The agency shall make available an agenda of all matters expected to come before the agency or committee at such meeting. The agenda shall be available on request and shall be posted at the meeting site as far in advance of the meeting as reasonably possible, but shall not be required to be available more than 2 weeks prior to the meeting, and shall be posted at a minimum at some time during the 2-week period immediately prior to the meeting. Failure to include on the agenda an item which becomes necessary to address during the course of the meeting shall not preclude considering and acting upon such item. And that's for regular meetings, not special called.
Okay. So can you put it in layman's terms? Because I'm sitting here, huh?
To answer Commissioner Kenner Jones's question, was that the ability for you guys to consider a new item regarding a lease is not precluded from being discussed.
I guess let me clarify my question. Is an agenda item listed as a presentation for update sufficient notice to the public that we are going to be discussing a potential 2-year lease to Old Courthouse, Inc., and then that discussion shift to the provision of a lease with an entity that does not exist?
Alone, no, but there was much discussion about it on yesterday. And the agenda item on today, I think gives enough notice to the public that there is going to be a discussion about a lease regarding the museum. It obviously doesn't say DC Museum, which is the new name. But I think there has been enough discussion around this item to put the public on notice that there is going to be a discussion about leasing the old courthouse.
And has a lease been drafted?
It has not. Not by me. They drafted something. I wouldn't regard it as a lease. It is purely a draft. It's incomplete, and it would not pass my cleared test.
Okay. Being that nothing has been drafted, certainly I know it would take your intervention. Is there an opportunity for a motion to be called to, and I'm just,
yes, ma'am,
need you to guide me in here, for extension of the deadline that's already in place to allow the things that we just talked about to go forth. I don't,
And are you speaking of the deadline for them to?
the current lease.
For the current lease?
Yeah, I don't
And
know how that's,
So I would need the clerk to pull up what that motion was the last time this has been addressed.
I don't.
I believe the
Board of
motion
Commissioners chime in.
passed to terminate the lease with a date of something, so we'll find out what that something is.
Vice Chair, you have the floor.
Madam County Attorney, can I ask a question? Would it be possible to go ahead and approve to terminate the Old Courthouse, Inc. lease?
It's already been done.
Yep. But to not evict from the premises, so they don't have to remove all those items, for 1 month, to reconsider DC Museum, Inc., to come back to us and consider a lease from DC Museum, Inc., upon they got to meet all the criterias. And they got to come in compliance.
All right, so let me restate to make sure I understand. You're wanting to make a motion to extend the eviction date, right? Of
Yes.
the current tenants, Old Courthouse, Inc., for an additional 30 days while the board considers a new lease with DC Museum, Inc. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1 second.
Vice Chair,
I yield back, Madam Chair.
okay. I know you yield back, but you said 30 days. Is that enough time? But, I'm just being fair to all at the table.
I've never opened up a 501(c)(3). I could not tell you.
May I address that issue?
Yes, sir.
May I ask you that question? How
Yeah.
long would it take DC Museum, Inc. to come into compliance with everything a 501(c) needs? Oh, 501, yeah.
Okay, the state filing will be back within 2 weeks. The 501(c)(3) application with the IRS will be 60 to 90 days minimum. It's an online filing. It's pretty summary. I tracked down the IRS code exactly so they really don't have a whole lot to argue about. It's just timing with the IRS. And I can't guarantee a timeline, but they say 60 to 90 days. And we can ask for have it expedited, but all that does is just kind of kick it up maybe a week or two. We're at the mercy of the IRS.
Yes.
So maybe month to month, we give them time. If they do, fine. If they don't, that's all.
Madam County Attorney, are you researching something?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm not, but
Okay.
Madam Clerk is.
Okay.
She's helping me.
Sir, what is your name again? I just want to make sure we have your name for the record.
It's Philip Johns
Philip Johns.
with the 1L, please.
Do you have Jessica? You all have his name. Mr. Philip Johns. Okay. What was your name, I'm sorry?
Philip Johns.
Just give us a minute.
On February 3rd, of this year, the BOC passed a resolution to terminate the lease, and that this was resolution, I don't know if it matters, 26069. That resolution rescinded Resolution 25-380, where you guys had approved for there to be a vacate December 31st, 2025. But you came back in January, because that notice was never provided, you came back in January to issue a new lease to Old Courthouse, Inc., and refer the matter to the Community Service Committee, who provided a recommendation back to this BOC that they should be given notice to vacate effective May 15th. Thank you. And that passed. And so at this current time, the status of things is that Old Courthouse, Inc. has to vacate on May 15th, 2026 by 5:00 p.m. And anytime thereafter, the county shall have the authority to take full possession of the property, including authority to remove or retain any and all tangibles left within the property as a result of their occupancy. So that's the current status of things. And because of the time that it took us to research this, I do not remember the question.
After reading that, can we vote or have a motion placed on here not to renew the contract with Old Courthouse, Inc.? However, to not evict or to move the eviction date to give them time to come for DC Museum, Inc. to come in compliance as a nonprofit.
Respectfully, you can make whatever motion you deem fit. I think you were trying to find out if that can be done as a legal matter, and there's nothing illegal about that. To achieve that, though, you will be rescinding, again, for the second time, your resolution. Now, this time, it's 26-069, which gave a termination date effective May 15th. So you would be rescinding that resolution and then doing something anew, which it sounds like a motion to extend the deadline for vacating.
Yes.
I can rescind my motion that I had on the floor, the one that I had earlier.
What was it?
It was a long, I know it's been a while. With those two conditions, which you said was not applicable, or was not something that could be done. So I rescind my motion.
Okay.
Do we have a motion, another motion?
So, Madam Chair, just point of question for the county attorney. So what I'm hearing, is there an opportunity for two separate motions? One with the motion or what we have on the agenda related to item number 16, and then a subsequent motion to potentially do some other action.
So item 16 is done, right? There was a motion to deny issuing a 2-year lease to Old Courthouse, Inc. That's done. There was a vote on that already. And so now the discussion has evolved into, right now I'm hearing a motion to extend the date of termination of the Old Courthouse, Inc. lease. That's what
Okay.
I'm hearing now.
Okay.
Which is now just one action, one motion, not two.
Okay, I'm sorry, Miss. Can you restate the first part? Because I know we took a motion, and that motion, it was to deny, to abstain.
So the motion that Commissioner
Right.
Kenner Jones
I wanna
made
know what
was a
happened with
motion
this
to
one.
deny issuing a lease. That motion failed
Mm-hmm.
because it was a 2-3 vote.
No, it's 2-2-1.
No, but we did it
Yeah, we had to
again.
vote again.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't hear.
That's fine. We did that motion, Commissioner Kenner Jones's motion, twice. The first one was void. The second one, everybody voted, and the vote on the motion to deny issuing a lease to Old Courthouse Inc. failed. 2-3. 2 people voted in favor of denial, 3 people voted against denial. That doesn't mean they voted in favor of giving them one, they just voted against denying issuing the lease. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Then there was another motion made by Madam Chair.
Right.
But I weighed in before
Right.
a second was even given that motion wasn't gonna work. Okay?
Right.
Now, Vice Chair Alvarez is talking about a motion. I don't think he's made it, but he's just trying to figure out if his motion will work. So that's where we are. So there's no motion on the floor at this time.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have a motion, Board of Commissioners?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, correct me if I state this wrong, because we've been talking about quite a bit. I would like to make a motion to not approve the lease with Old Courthouse Inc., but to extend the vacate date to
Let me
August.
stop you. You want to make a motion to rescind Resolution 26-069.
Correct.
Remember, that was the resolution that told them to be out May 15th. You don't want to do that anymore, is what it sounds like.
Correct.
Now, go from there.
Give me that resolution one more time, please.
26-069.
Okay, let me try this again. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to not renew the lease with Old Courthouse Inc. No, sorry.
To rescind.
To rescind 26-0, Resolution 2609
26-069.
069, and extend the vacate date for 90 days.
Okay.
And to consider a new lease went with DC Museum, Inc. once they come into compliance with all state laws and everything for a lease with the new museum, with the old museum. I'm sorry, the old courthouse.
Let me recommend that you put a period after a motion to rescind 26-069 and extend the vacate date by 90 days.
Okay, let me do this motion. Act number 3. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to rescind 26-069 and extend to extend the vacate date for 90 days.
From May 15th.
From May 15th.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Yep. Commissioner Kenner Jones.
So, one thing that it's more of a comment than a question. Would you be arguing to extend the lease for any other nonprofit that had committed the egregious gross negligence that has been demonstrated by Old Courthouse Museum? And I say that in the context of you have been the leading commissioner championing complaints about the unethical behavior, about the financial irregularities and issues with the coroner's office. You also were one of the leading commissioners who was championing and advocating for us not to increase or give additional funding to the Community Services Board for the exact same negligent reasons. So what makes the Old Courthouse Museum so different that they get that level of special treatment?
My reason is, one, the museum to me is part of our county. 2, I have stated over and over again, I do not want to extend the lease for Old Courthouse Inc.
That's
And the
the only
reasons,
issue I have.
the reasons being is what we discussed yesterday, and that we all had in-depth conversations about yesterday. But my demand would be, it would have to be a brand-new board, completely. They cannot be the old board members. This DC Museum must be a brand-new board and must adhere to suggestions or what the Board of Commissioners and the county desires.
So what I hear you saying in that response is that it is more important to protect personal friendships and nonprofits than it was to provide mental health services to the Douglas County community. People, a provider that sees 70+ thousand people a year, as opposed to, based on the studies and the records keeping that was provided to us, have only seen 100,000 people walk through their doors since 1998. So that takes priority. We're doing all of this political gerrymandering up here to try to figure out how to collude with what we already are aware of has been done woefully improperly. We were informed yesterday that if there are legal implications, fixing it going forward does not retroactively take away our liability. So why would we continue to try to do this? But I'm probably not going to get an answer for that. My second question is for Commissioner Mitchell.
May I?
Yep.
Just, the reasons why I did not continue to push or to cut funding for the mental health was what you and I worked on.
We did cut funding for mental health.
Exactly.
They went for
But
several $100,000, and I supported you because I have demonstrated over and over, whether it is popular or not, that transparency, integrity, and accuracy matter. And I'm not going to have one standard for the Community Services Board and not have the same standard for the museum. I do not disagree that we made the right decision in reducing the funding and we reduced it until they get into compliance. And we've not readdressed it since because they've not brought anything back before us to demonstrate that they have got in compliance, just like Old Courthouse Inc. is out of compliance and has been out of compliance. They have not demonstrated that they have been good stewards of the facility that was provided to them or the funding that was provided to them. So again, I don't understand why we're doing all of this round and around. If they want to go and get it right, they can go and get it right. But that does not mean that we acquiesce and give them additional time. We did not provide that to anybody else.
Well, I agree with you on that. But with the CSB, they never came back and tried to make it right.
They tried to come back multiple times, and
We
none of us
have
added
not
that back
seen them,
to
nor have they
the
contacted
agenda.
us. I mean, I know Madam Chair sits on the board, but they have not contacted us since. So I'm just saying, give an opportunity for a brand-new group, which we all talked about. It would have to be someone that we could work with. It would have to be someone who would hear and listen to our suggestions and the community's suggestions to make the museum not just good, but make it great.
But we're extending a lease to an organization
All
that
right.
we are hoping is proactively going to do something different, but they do not have different, better, or appropriate before us now. But I have a question for Commissioner Mitchell, because we've discussed how did this get here.
Okay.
I personally would like to know why the conversation was continued, because it's not just that Old Courthouse Inc. came back. They were requested by you multiple times to come back on the agenda, and you said that you were going to go with the recommendation of the Community Services Committee,
Okay.
and their recommendation was no, so why are we back here now?
And you're absolutely correct in that statement, and that I did. However, I also, let me remind you, suggested that they had came with a new idea, a new board, a new entity that I suggested to us to take a look at.
And the
So-
committee
Well, you're gonna let me
denied
finish,
that
or you're gonna?
request and said
No.
they disagreed.
And no, we didn't deny that request. It was just a conversation. We did not deny that request.
Commissioner
So-
Mitchell, you asked in that committee meeting.
No, not in the committee meeting. No, that's not when it was suggested to me about a potential new organization, a new entity, a new board, all this, I suggested to this board that they might be coming back with a new makeup of what this could be. And I said, I suggest that we take a look at this. Now, we do this all the time. How many times from planning and zoning and any other thing that someone bring before us that may get denied, but they still have the opportunity to come back? I didn't say have an opportunity to come back so we can pass or fail. No, they should have the opportunity to come back. That's what I
So then why didn't
suggested.
you send it back to the Community Services Committee?
Listen, that was their choice, and I just only made the recommendation that
You
they.
didn't make a recommendation. You
I
added it to
did
the
make a
agenda.
recommendation,
There's a
and I'll tell you
Board,
when.
board,
Okay.
let's not go back and forth here.
Well, and I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm only saying, I know everybody sitting on this board know when I made that suggestion in one of our meetings, and I make it plain and clear. It was an executive session when I made that suggestion to all of us. Did I not?
And in that same executive session, there
Okay.
was not a quorum of people who agreed that it should come back on the agenda.
I didn't say.
But that's irrelevant at this
I only
point.
said, no, it's not irrelevant.
It's
I only
relevant.
said I made the statement. Now, whether or not everybody agreed is a whole different conversation. Now, I'm going to leave it there, Madam Chair. I'll leave it there.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
I would just like to say, for the record, that this board is participating in the promotion of illegal activities. If you extend their lease, you are acquiescing to gross negligence and mismanagement, and may the odds be ever in your favor. I hope that we're not under indictments again.
Okay, no clapping. All right, any other
Yes.
discussion? Okay, Commissioner Braxton, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. I guess this may be a question for the county attorney. So if this motion passes, up until the point in time when all the documentation is approved for DC Museum, Inc., will the current facility still be allowed to operate under the guise of Old Courthouse, Inc.?
So let's be clear that the motion, based on my recommendation, was only to rescind Resolution 26-069 and extend the vacate date for 90 days.
Thank you.
The reason why I said that is because the second part of his motion, consider a new lease and all of that, if it happens, it happens, y'all bring it back. If it doesn't, it does not put the onus on this body to do anything until those things happen. So the only thing that this motion does is gives them a longer period of time to remain in the old courthouse and continue to operate as they have been. It gives them an additional 90 days. That's what the motion does for old courthouse, for things to remain status quo for an additional 90 days. Now, what they do, they being this new entity, what they do within those 90 days, if they get the confirmations from the state, from the IRS, and get all of their ducks in a row and bring it back to this body for you guys to consider issuing a new lease to them, I don't think that's something you can control. That's on them if they want to continue down that road, right? So that's why I asked for the period after rescinding. If that's not what Vice Chair Alcaraz wants, he is free to amend his motion.
All right, so thank you for that clarification. And I think what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is things will stay status quo for the next 90 days and stay and remain in effect the way they are now.
If the motion passes.
And so with that being said, the museum will continue to be open and run under the auspice of Old Courthouse, Inc.
Status quo.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
You can't issue a lease to
Right.
DC. They don't
Right,
exist
there's
yet.
no right. And I just want to, just get that clarification that there is no changes, nothing changes for the next 90 days, at least the next 90 days, if this motion passes.
The other option is during the 90 days, there can be a new action by this body to receive the information from DC Museum, and a new lease can be issued at that time, right? If that's what this body so chooses.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Looks like Commissioner Vice Chair, do you have a point to add on
I
this?
do.
Or
I do.
All right. Madam Chair, I'll yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Braxton.
I thought I was being clear to not approve the lease, so not operating as is for 90 days. It's just to extend the vacate date. That's all I wanted. So not operating as is, no Old Courthouse Inc. It will have to be closed for 90 days. But
So that's a
just-
different
the-
conversation.
that was my intention. That's where I was going with this. Because no, there was issues that I've already stated that was brought to our attention about Old Courthouse Inc. So no, that has to be done. We have to, the
So
only
you
thing
want
we're-
them to close the museum, is what you're saying?
It's gonna have to be.
Okay. So then the vacate date is one thing, but you still want the lease terminated.
Correct.
Okay. So that changes your motion.
Well, that's the point I was trying to get to, because we're gonna have, anything going forward is gonna have to be with a new nonprofit.
Understood.
There was things that was brought to our attention yesterday that we cannot deny. And so that was just my whole point, was to no business as usual, but until they conform that, they can bring presentations back to us. But it's just to extend their vacate date.
So I think it needs to be clear then that your motion is to continue with the termination.
Correct.
It's just that they do not, and the museum shall be closed effective May 15th at 5 o'clock. But that the county will not take possession of the property
Correct.
for at least 90 days.
Correct.
That's a change in what we discussed,
Okay.
or what I understood you wanted to do.
Okay, then I would like to amend my motion. Here again.
That's fine.
To terminate the lease with Old Courthouse Inc.
Okay, so that's where I get confused, because the lease has already been terminated.
Terminated, okay. So it's already terminated.
It's already terminated.
Okay. So then if it's already terminated, then we're just extending the vacate date, am I not?
And I think you need to include museum closed, not open to the public, and that the county will not take possession for at least 90 days.
Okay, then my amendment is for the courthouse to be closed. And it.
Not open to the public?
Not open to the public, not under Old Courthouse Inc. We just.
Right.
Yeah, what was,
I'm listening.
but to extend the vacate date for 90 days.
Madam Chair, I think you can ask for a second on the amendment.
Okay.
Or this, let's call it a substitute motion, because it will take precedent over the main motion. So it's a substitute motion, not an amendment.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion, board? Okay. All right, we've been talking so long, if we could just, no
I think you
discussion.
need to do a
Okay.
hand raise vote.
Do I need to do a hand? All in favor of
The substitute motion.
the substitute motion, please indicate by raising your right hand. All opposed? We have a 3-2 vote and the motion carries for that piece, for this motion that's been made. So, Madam County Attorney, that's
Yes,
it. I
ma'am.
believe you have a second motion. Are you finished, Vice Chair? Are we good?
I'm
Okay,
I
no
think
more
I'm
motions.
done.
That's it. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. If I may add, thank you all. We're finished with this motion and we're going to move on, but just to hear some dialogue about, I didn't go, with CSB because I'm disappointed, I can say this, about cutting funding for the behavioral health services in our county. I'm going to make it very clear. I don't work for politics. I work for the people of Douglas County, all of them. So everything that comes before my desk means something, whether it's a museum, whether it's behavioral health, whether it's food stamps, whatever we need to do to take care of our citizens, that's what I expect to do. CSB hadn't been back before you all because we have worked on our billing and gotten things in order, and we may come back, but I'm just disappointed to hear how we decided not to fund them. So with that being said, we're going to move on. Madam Clerk, let me move on before I get on my horse, please.
The next thing is the consent agenda, Chairman. We'll need a motion on.
Okay, Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion? You reviewed the consent agenda. We had discussions on yesterday. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Oh, no discussion, we discussed. Just please cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. Okay. Where's communications? Would you please provide our updates today for us?
Yes, ma'am, of
Thank you
course.
so much.
Good afternoon again to Madam Chair, Board
Thank
of
you,
Commissioners,
Christie.
and County Administration. I am here to read today's announcements.
Okay, you have the floor.
Join Chairman Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones on Tuesday, May 19th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at New Mountain Baptist Church for a senior symposium. The event will include information and resources regarding senior safety, Medicare, legal services, and more. A light lunch will be served. And for additional details and registration information, please contact Dion Penn at dpenn@douglascountyga.gov or call 770-920-7269. The public is invited to join District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III for his next coffee and conversation on Saturday, June 6, 2026 at the Woody Fight Senior Center. Share your ideas, connect with fellow citizens, and learn more about public safety, community engagement, and other important topics. Join Commissioner Mitchell in partnership with Streets 94.5, Grateful Hands, and Fit for the Future for Hoops for Inclusion, a star-studded celebrity basketball game fundraiser dedicated to disability awareness and inclusive programs. The game will be held on Saturday, June 6th at Stewart Middle School in the Lovejoy Gymnasium at 3 p.m. with a pre-party beginning at 1 p.m. Commissioner Mitchell is also working to raise awareness about prostate cancer in commemoration of National Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, an observance dedicated to increasing public knowledge of the most common non-skin cancer in American men and the second leading cause of cancer-related death among men. He'll share important information and updates each week leading up to the national observance in September. Join District 3 Commissioner Martin Raxton, State Senator Donzella James, and Fulton County Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. in partnership with the HOA Alliance for the Douglas County HOA Boot Camp on Saturday, May 9th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at First Baptist Church. The 2-hour session will offer information, resources, and insight into HOA management and participation. The event is free and open to the public. The Mirror Lake Community Cookout, hosted by Vice Chair and District 4 Commissioner Mark Alcaraz and Douglas County Sheriff 10 Pounds, has been rescheduled. The new date and time are Saturday, May 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Lifegate Church in Villa Rica. The event is free and open to the public and promises to be a day filled with fun and fellowship. Douglas County presents Homeward Bound, an art exhibit honoring the legacy of artist Donald Wayne Holdman. Come explore Holdman's beautiful collection of artwork along with amazing pieces by featured artists Susan Easton Burns and PQ. Join us this Friday, May 8th, for a special exhibit showing and reception from 6 to 8 p.m. in the 3rd floor Courthouse Art Gallery. Together, let's reflect, honor, and enjoy this meaningful celebration. The event is free and open to the public. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the Great Shredding Event presented by Keep Douglas County Beautiful in the Douglas County Courthouse. Bring your unwanted documents free from staples and paper clips and come shred with us. Exciting news to share, Douglas County has officially been licensed to host 2 community watch parties in connection with the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The celebrations are scheduled for Saturday, June 27th and Sunday, July 19th at Boundary Waters Park. The events will feature food trucks, vendors, games, family activities, and massive screens to capture every moment of the action. Tickets will be available on a first-come, first-served basis beginning June 1 for the June 27th watch party and July 1 for the July 19th watch party. Admission is free, but tickets must be secured via an online platform. For ticket info and everything you need to know before you go, visit watchthecupdouglas.com. Finally, we'd like to recognize several recent commissioner achievements. Congratulations to District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III on his recent certification from the Association County Commissioners of Georgia, also known as ACCG, Lifelong Learning Academy. Commissioner Mitchell completed the Academy's specialty track in public safety. Congratulations to District 3 Commissioner Martin Raxton on his election to a 2-year term as Vice President of the Georgia Association of Black County Officials during the Association County Commissioners of Georgia's recent annual conference. Congratulations to Vice Chair and District 4 Commissioner Mark Alcaraz on his recent certification from the Association County Commissioners of Georgia Lifelong Learning Academy. Commissioner Alcaraz completed the Academy specialty track in leadership development and quality of life social issues. Vice Chair Alcaraz was recently honored with the Healing the Community Award presented by the Nichols Center in recognition of his outstanding work to expand mental health programs and strengthen public safety initiatives in our community. We applaud each of these commissioners on their notable achievements and appreciate their service to the citizens of Douglas County. And Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Thank you so much, Christian. Let's give the commissioners another hand for all their hard work. All right. Do we have any other items to come before the board? If not, Madam, we don't need we don't need an executive session. If there's nothing else to come before this body, do we have a motion to recess, go into recess until 6 p.m. tonight for the joint P&Z and BOC meeting? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, please? If none, please cast your votes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. We are now in recess, and Board of Commissioners, we will return at 6 p.m. for our P&Z meeting. Thank you.